Welcome, everyone. It's my honor to extend a big warm welcome to everyone who is joining us today. My name is Lucinda Perry-Jones. I'm the Director of Strategic Initiatives at Operation Food Search, and thank you again for joining us for this webinar. It's our first ever that we are doing with community partners, and so we welcome you to this inaugural test. So we decided to host this webinar so we could share some really valuable resources with community members. We know that many people are dealing with food insecurity for the first time in their lives. And we also know that many may be looking to you to guide them through this ongoing pandemic crisis. So we designed this webinar to give you the food resource tools you need for your own organization and your networks. So what you can expect during this 30-minute webinar is that you can, first of all, feel free to ask questions, put those in the chat box. We'll address as many of those questions as possible. At the end of this presentation, we'll have some time for Q&A. And so that we can maximize our time together, let's get started. I am going to introduce our two panelists, Brian Weir, who is the Director of Child and Family Nutrition Programs. Hello, Brian.
There we go. Hello.
Hi, Brian. You're with us?
I'm with you.
Okay, great. And also Trina Reagan, who's our Director of Policy and Innovation. Trina?
Hi, everyone.
So before we dive into the webinar, I just wanted to give a quick overview of Operation Food Search. We are a hunger relief organization with a vibrant network of community food partners located in 15 counties in Missouri, 15 counties in Illinois, and also in the city of St. Louis. We offer a wide range of services and programs designed to end hunger and the cycle of hunger. But today we're going to focus specifically on helping you learn how to find free, nutritious food, and also how to apply for and take advantage of other assistance programs. So Brian is going to kick off the conversation by talking about how OFS is meeting the demand for food assistance for children and families, and also explain how we work with several community partners throughout the region. Brian, can you take it away?
Lucinda, can I hop in here? Hi, everybody. I'm Jocelyn Funducos. I'm the Communications Manager at Operation Food Search. I just wanted to say we have a little technical glitch. I think, Diane, for some reason, your screen is being shared. So until you unshare it, I can't share the slides. Great, thank you so much. We'll all get the hang of this. Yes. We're all figuring it out. So
everyone can hear my voice, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So just to cue Brian up again, Brian is going to take it away.
There we go. I was kind of hoping someone else noticed that besides me, because I was getting panicked. All right, well, I'm going to dive in here talking a little bit about our summer meals program here at Operation Food Search. We are in our 9th year of providing this service as a sponsorship to the St. Louis County, St. Louis City, and frankly, the entire St. Louis region. So on my first slide here, we're going to talk about a little bit about the ways our meals are being distributed this year. We, like many other summer food service sponsors, have a very traditional approach. We seek children out where they congregate, at youth clubs, camps, swimming pools, parks, school districts, places like that. And that's by nature the way the program was designed, in order to fill that gap during the summertime, when school's out. And these programs do the very best that they can to do just that, provide a nutritious breakfast, a nutritious lunch, and in some cases, dinner. And being that said, one of the things that we have to do is, what I said, find the children, but the children have to stay around. They have to congregate and eat the meal in front of you while they're being observed. Well, this year, like everybody else who may be running this program, things have changed. And a lot of things have changed in the COVID-19 environment. We are thankful enough across the country to receive several USDA waivers this year, which allow much more flexibility within the program. So we're able to expand and kind of do things like we would have always wanted to do. Reach children, reach families, find them where they are, and be able to get meals to them so they can take home and not have to sit in front of you and eat the meals. So these are the 4 ways we're doing it. So in this environment, we've actually expanded our program, which is kind of unique. We didn't pull it back. We went forward and tried something new. We have rural partnerships this year in several counties surrounding St. Louis. They're serving the meals themselves. We're sending meals out to them, and they are helping the children and families in their communities. But we're able to provide that resource of the food itself and the overall administration of the program, for them. So it's fantastic. Grab and go meals and drive-through pickup meals are very similar. Grab and go literally means you can walk up to one of the community-based locations that is serving a meal, take it, and leave. And with drive-through pickup, it's, again, just like it sounds. We have 12 or 13 locations right now where we're doing drive-through pickup 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, for a couple reasons. Less contact, people don't have to come out as often. And one of the waivers that is available through the USDA this year is a multiple meals waiver, meaning we can serve multiple meals at the same time and multiple days worth of meals at the same time. So that helps more food, more nutrition get into the hands of children and families with less interaction. So it's working out famously. We took a stab in the dark, gave it a shot, and it's been working. So we're hoping to keep going with that throughout the summertime. And our final distribution method is our mobile meals distribution. This is something that Operation Food Search has done for about 4 years now, where we go into communities where children can't necessarily get out of the community, or they're not going to a summer club, they're not going to a summer camp, and they're more homebound. Now this year, everybody's homebound to a point. So we have partnered with the St. Louis Housing Authority and a couple other organizations to bring our vans with our staff into these communities and serve meals on a regular basis. And again, we're following that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday model. And one other great thing about the Monday, Wednesday, Friday model to keep in mind, if you're a provider out there, you can serve, when I said multiple days, we're able to serve 6 days a week now with only going into the community 3 days a week. So on Monday, you get 2 days, Wednesday, you get 2 days, and on Friday, you get 2 days worth of meals. So it's really, really great. And we started this program back on, I think it was March 25th, when schools started closing. And to date, as of today, we're approaching 300,000 meals served throughout these programs. So it's a significant uptake. More meals are getting out to the community, more nutrition is getting into the community. And as you can see from this slide here, going into the community is still safe. It's still okay. We're putting things in place to make sure that our staff is safe. You can see the gloves, the masks. So it's really, really nice to see the folks coming out to the sites themselves.
Thanks,
And
Brian. Thanks for sharing all of that with us. Can you share some other ways that we're working with some supporting organizations out in the community as well? Sure.
We have a great opportunity this year to have a couple things going on. One of them is Kerrs Act funding that came down from the federal government to the local governments. And St. Louis County awarded Operation Food Search $1.3 million of these Kerrs Act funds. And these funds are being used to purchase and deliver family meal boxes to 21 locations throughout St. Louis County. The sites were identified based on locations where incomes fall below the poverty level, school districts where the percentage of students of free and reduced lunches is high, zip codes where COVID-19 has had a disproportionate impact, and zip codes where African Americans make up a significant portion of the population. Along with that, Operation Food Search is also a recipient of the USDA's Farm to Families Food Box program. So we have produce boxes and mixed dairy boxes going out to these locations as well. So there's a significant amount of food getting into the community this summer. And this food, the Kerrs Act food, the USDA Food Box Program food, it's not specific to children like the other program is. This is available for everyone. So it's really, really great and impactful. And another way is our partnerships with the DriveThru Meal Distribution, which is a little bit different than the drive-thru I was talking about before, because these are big drive-thru meal distributions where they'll set up on a Saturday and serve 2,000 to 3,000 families at a time. St. Louis County Library, Urban League, Catholic Charities, and Beyond Housing are just some of the organizations that we're working with in getting that food distributed. And there is a slide here, which you can sort of see what one of those may look like of us putting food into the actual trunk of a car. There it is. That was at a Catholic Charities event a few weeks back. The cars pull up and a staged line, and you put the food into the back of the cars.
So Brian, how can people find all of these wonderful resources that exist in the community?
Well, there's a number of ways to find them. And I'm going to walk you through them in order to make it a little easier for you to demonstrate to your folks that you're helping. But the first thing, the drive-through distributions, the ones I just talked about, tend to be advertised on social media. So one of the best things you can do is follow Operation Food Search. You can hit our Facebook page or follow us on Twitter. Both of those links are there. St. Louis County, like organizations like the library, they have their own Twitter page and Facebook page. They also put things on their website, and so do places like Urban League. So you can follow them directly, you can follow them indirectly through us, but following through the social media avenues and channels is a great first step. But we also have another way. So this is an easy way to find some direct services. So the things I was talking about before, like the child meal locations and some of our food pantry locations, can be found if you go to our website. So this screenshot is the screenshot of our homepage. You can see the green arrow there on top and the right. And if you hover over that arrow, two choices come down: find food map, and then find, or the child meals map. And I'll go over the child meals map first. This map has over 600 locations on it right now, currently. We have a staff member here that is actively contacting all of the school districts in the area and as many summer food service sponsors as we possibly can to keep this map updated. But if you find yourself on this page, it's regional. So you can type in your zip code right where that green arrow is, hit search, and then it's going to return results based on your criteria. Next to that is 10 miles around your zip code, or how many results do you want to find. So the next slide will also show you a little bit about what you'll find, or what will find you if you do that. Each one of the little blue dots has data behind that, which tells you what it is, where it is, what time they serve, and what they're serving, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, that type of thing.
Brian, what do the little markers with the tomato explain?
Well, those are my favorite little markers. And those are the ones that are Operation Food Search direct service sites. Those are the ones that we're sponsoring directly through our summer food service sponsorship through USDA. So hopefully you'll find those too. The next thing, I want to go back to our homepage real quick. And if you were to click on the other link, the Find Food Map, we put all ages next to that, so it's not delineated just by the child meals map through the SFSP, Summer Food Service Program. So let's click on that real quick. The first thing you're going to get returned here are 3 ways to find assistance near you. You have some choices here. If you want to view a map, that's there. If you want to call our hunger hotline, that's there. The phone number's there, and you extension 1, and then you can talk to somebody and they will find the nearest location to where you're at. And you can also text to find locations closest to you. So the first thing let's do is let's go through the map. The map, if you click on that link, it's very, very similar to the other one. You type in your zip code and what your search criteria is, and it will return community food partners, which we call community food partners, are pantries. They will give you back all the data based upon that particular pantry, when it's open, when it's closed, and other information about it, like their phone number and such. So that's very similar. The next thing is our text line. This is no different than texting anything. You type in the phone number, and then you type in your zip code, and it's going to return a number of pantries that are closest to you. And while the ones they return might not be necessarily directly in your neighborhood, if you don't have a pantry in your neighborhood, it's still returning the ones that are closest to you. And you can call those phone numbers and seek assistance there. And the last thing I want to go over real quick is a broader text line. This is for summer food in specific. And the phone number is 877-877. And this is run by one of our partners called No Kid Hungry. And it is a nationwide database. So wherever you happen to be, so if you're here in St. Louis watching this and you go out of town, or you know people out of town, they can text this phone number and just type in the word food or comida, and you'll get returned results of the nearest summer food service locations to you. So that's a really neat feature that's available as well.
Well, thank you, Brian. You've really deconstructed easy ways and tips to access these expanded food resources throughout the region. I also wanted to mention that for people who are seeking help for the first time and may not know what to expect when they go to a pantry, we have a couple of videos that are available on our website now. One is in Spanish and one is in English. And again, it just provides some insight into what to expect when you go to ask for food assistance at one of our pantries. So that wraps up that piece of it. We're going to turn our attention now to and welcome Trina Reagan. And Trina, can you share with us some of the ways that people can tap into other assistance programs that are throughout the state?
Unmuting myself helps. Hi, everyone. This has been a really exciting time for those of us who work in social policy, particularly in terms that we're seeing some of the things that we have been advocating for years, if not decades, coming to fruition through the 3 stimulus bills that have been enacted by Congress during the pandemic. These stimulus bills have brought about new flexibilities for programs, reduced barriers for people being able to access the safety net, and increased benefit allotment amounts. All of these things, of course, we're seeing play out in the community right now. For example, through the month of June, families that are receiving SNAP, also called food stamps, are receiving the maximum allotment for their household based on household size. I know that we had one mother who shared with me that her 8-year-old daughter had noticed in the last few months that they had food for the entire month. And she wanted to know why, what had changed. And the thing that had changed is that they finally had a large enough SNAP benefit to purchase food for the entire month. That really struck me, hearing those anecdotal stories, that what we've been willing to enact in terms of flexibility and benefits during the pandemic are really what we hope we would see Congress enact some of these flexibilities permanently after we get past this stage. So the policy team here at OFS has been hard at work deconstructing these stimulus bills and trying to create tools that will help those of you who work with community members better understand what benefits are available to them when. So we've created a specific link. It's easy to remember. gethelp.operationfoodsearch.org is where you can go to find all of the resources that we are continuously updating. If you go to our main website, you can still access those resources by clicking on the COVID-19 help button or the COVID-19 resources you see on the right side of the screen in the red box. So let me talk a little bit about those resources for you. When you click on that button, this is the screen that you are going to, the top of the screen that you're going to see. And we have some very specific resources I'm going to go over with you one by one to give you a better idea of some of what we've created. So most popular to date has been our St. Louis region family food flyer, although we've also done a Missouri family food flyer. Sorry, that's a tongue twister. For those who live outside the St. Louis region. And we're really excited about a new kit that we launched this month to help get the word out about pandemic EBT benefits, which I'll talk about in a little more detail in a moment. So if we were to look at the St. Louis region food flyer, essentially what the policy team has done here is cull through all of the information that is coming out of the federal government, including things like what waivers, Brian mentioned waivers, what waivers have been put into place, what waivers have been extended to what point. We've been sitting here with our fingers crossed, hoping that fourth stimulus package comes along. We're still waiting on it. But what you'll see is there are 8 boxes, and each box on this particular flyer covers another piece of information, whether it's where to access food pantries, how to find child meal locations, what you need to know about SNAP benefits and the flexibilities that currently exist, flexibilities that are being put in place for WIC. And then if you flip it over to the back side, there are some specific resources about our work with the St. Louis County Library and other resources that you can access. Next up, I want to talk a little bit about this great PEBT stock up for summer piece that we have done. So you'll see here, when you click on PEBT, could you go back for a second, Jocelyn? I wanted to mention, number one, that we have started translating our materials into a variety of languages. So this St. Louis region and Missouri family food flyers, these are the spring versions, and they're available in a total of 7 languages. And so all you need to do digitally to download them is click on the language that you would like to download. We've partnered with the International Institute to produce these translations. As I mentioned, these are the spring version. The summer version will be up by the end of this month with updates to all of these benefits as they stand now. But if we look at PEBT, not only can you download this as a digital document in English and Spanish, you'll see there's also a place where you can request print materials. And so if you were to click on that link and want some of these kits to pass out to families that you're working with, if you want to flip now to the next slide, Jocelyn, I will go through what's included in them. And so this is the digital version. It's a little bit different from the kit that you would receive should you order some from us. It has a flyer in it that you can see on numbers 3 and 4 that outlines what is PEBT. So for those of you who might not know, PEBT is a one-time benefit. It stands for Pandemic EBT, and it is meant to go to families who have children in pre-K through 12th grades who typically would receive free or reduced price meals while at school. And so this benefit is to essentially provide an EBT benefit for each family of up to $302 per child to compensate for those days that school was closed due to COVID. It's not being advertised very well that this is available in the state, which is why we produced these materials. You'll find the link for people to go sign up for it. Right now, in Missouri, approximately 60% of families that are eligible have signed up for this benefit. We've paired this information about how to access the benefit with some helpful hints on how to stock your pantry for the summer. So how to use this benefit to hopefully stock your shelves for a few weeks. And it includes 4 recipe cards using some of those non-perishable ingredients. So we have them printed and ready to go out in English if anyone would like some of those to hand out to the families that you work with. And then if you scroll further down the page, you will find a tab for each type of federal food program. And not just the food programs, you'll also find them on unemployment, stimulus checks. And when you click on there, and I think we have an example, yes, of what this looks like, you'll have kind of the highlights when you click on that box. And then if you were to click on SNAP resources below, you'll get an overview of the program and what it takes to qualify for the program, how you qualify for the program, what changes are currently in effect to the program due to the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as a Q&A of some frequently asked questions we've received over the last several months.
Great. Thank you for that thorough introduction to all those great resources on our website. And with this, we have a couple of minutes. If anyone has some questions, anything that you want to ask to either of the panelists, this time is yours. So you can either, Jocelyn, can you unmute people, or would you prefer them to chat in the box? Okay, go ahead and put anything in the chat box that you might have.
I can make a quick offer to the group too. I know some of the stuff I talked about with the summer food service program sounds like it just magically happens. It doesn't. And if you are a summer food service sponsor or wanting to become one, or you're a site, or you're just confused about the whole thing, please send us your information in the chat box, and I'll be more than happy to speak with you individually, because we have an entire staff here to make sure all this happens. And without our child nutrition manager, Melissa, none of this would happen. So it's fantastic. So please, if you're seeking any assistance like that, we're here to help as well.
So I'm not seeing anything in the chat box. Are you all just shy, or did we just do a really good job of explaining everything? Okay, well, I'll take that to mean that that you have these resources at your fingertips. Please don't hesitate to reach out to anyone at Operation Food Surge for additional information about these, what we offer and our services. And again, thank you so much for joining us today. We really hope that it was worth your valuable time to tune in. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Someone has asked about the slides, and they will be emailed out to people. Is that right, Jocelyn?
Yes, we'll send them to everyone who registered, even if they couldn't be here.
And please feel free to pass that video along to others as well.
Thanks, everyone.